What is the exact price of your silence? I'm not asking what you earn in a year. I am asking for the precise number that hits your phone screen once a month, that convinces you to put your ambitions on hold for another 30 days. We all know the feeling. That specific notification pops up, and suddenly, there is a chemical wash of relief. The knot in your stomach unties. The misery of the commute and the frustration of following orders vanish under a wave of dopamine. You feel safe. You feel stable. But here is the part nobody tells you. That feeling of safety is not a sign of success. It is the sound of the trap snapping shut. You need to understand that a salary operates on the same psychological pathways as a narcotic. It is a dose administered on a schedule to regulate behavior. So why does this cycle feel impossible to escape? It isn't because you are lazy, and it isn't because you lack willpower. It is because you are fighting against an evolutionary flaw buried deep in your survival instincts that companies quietly exploit to keep high performers docile. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how the monthly bribe rewires your brain and what you need to do to break the dependency. The sedation ends today. To understand why this trap is so difficult to escape, we have to stop looking at your bank account and start looking at your biology. You are not lazy. You are evolutionarily efficient. For thousands of years, the human brain had one singular directive: conserve energy and avoid uncertainty. In the wild, uncertainty meant death. If you didn't know where your next meal was coming from, your body went into a state of hyper-arousal. You became a predator. You had to hunt, innovate, and kill to survive. That friction was the engine of your evolution. But the paycheck hacks this ancient operating system by guaranteeing a resource drop on the same day every month. You send a signal to your brain that the hunt is over. And here is the part evolution never prepared you for. The moment your brain realizes survival is guaranteed without struggle, it shuts down the biological systems required for high performance. Think of a lion in a zoo. In the savannah, a lion is a machine of calculation and power because it has to be. But in captivity, when it is fed premium meat at 5 p.m. every day, it doesn't become happy, it becomes lethargic. Its muscles atrophy, its eyes lose that predatory fire. It hasn't become a different animal. It has just been removed from the environment that necessitated its greatness. The monthly bribe does the exact same thing to you. This creates a dangerous dopamine dysfunction. Your brain is supposed to reward progress. Instead, it rewards compliance. You are being trained, month after month, to sit in the cage and wait for the keeper. The terrifying truth is, the longer you stay in the zoo, the less capable you become of surviving in the wild. But here is the good news. The same biology that traps you can be rewired. You just have to stop feeding the wrong mechanism. Let's strip away the emotions for a moment and look at the cold, brutal mathematics of the deal you have signed. When you accept a monthly paycheck, you are engaging in a transaction where you are at a permanent structural disadvantage. A salary is not a reflection of your worth. It is a calculation of the minimum viable amount required to prevent you from quitting, while maximizing the profit extracted from your labor. You are selling a non-renewable resource, your time, in exchange for a printable, depreciating currency. But here is where the math becomes horrifying. You are trading 5 days of servitude for 2 days of what you think is freedom. But weekends aren't freedom. They are recovery cycles designed to get you ready for more labor. You are selling your upside. If you presented this deal to a venture capitalist, I will give you 71% of my life in exchange for just enough resources to survive until I die, they would laugh you out of the room. Yet, this is the contract you sign every single morning. The most dangerous part of this mechanic is the illusion of stability. You tell yourself, at least I'm safe. This is the greatest lie of the modern workforce. True stability is not a paycheck. It is control. In a salaried position, you have a single point of failure. If that one revenue stream is cut, your entire life collapses. You are not standing on solid ground. You are standing on a trapdoor that someone else controls. The bribe blinds you to the fact that you are behaving like a distressed business with only one client who dictates every term of your existence. And that client is paying you just enough to never look up at the ceiling they built over your head. The financial cost of the bribe is high, but the psychological cost is total. The most insidious thing about the paycheck is not what it does to your wallet, but what it does to your mirror. We know from neuroscience that neurons that fire together wire together. Every day that you clock in, ask for permission to take a lunch break, or silently agree with a boss you don't respect, you are etching the neural pathways of a subordinate. You are systematically training yourself to be passive. Over a decade, this creates a fundamental shift in your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a creator who acts upon the world, and you start seeing yourself as a dependent who is acted upon. But the truth is, nothing in that wiring is permanent. The same way your brain learned submission, it can learn agency again. This is where the golden handcuffs tighten. As your salary increases, you upgrade your lifestyle to compensate for the downgrade of your freedom. For the high performer stuck in the trap, luxury is often not a celebration. It is anesthesia for the soul. You build a gilded cage filled with expensive toys to distract yourself from the reality that you are not free to leave. So why does this loop feel impossible to break? Even when you can logically see it, it is because your brain, addicted to the certainty, begins to hallucinate monsters in the fog. You tell yourself, I can't risk it. I have responsibilities. But you were a risk taker once. The fear you feel isn't wisdom. It is withdrawal. It is the terror of an addict thinking about life without the substance. The tragedy is that millions of people die at 25, but aren't buried until 75. They clock in, zone out, and let the monthly bribe purchase their silence until the clock runs out. Do not let the comfort of your chains fool you into thinking you are free. So, what is the solution? Do you walk into your boss's office tomorrow, flip the desk, and quit with zero plan? No, that is not discipline. That is chaos. The goal is not to destroy your income. The goal is to invert your relationship with it. You must stop viewing your employer as your master and start viewing them as your first angel investor. This is the psychological shift that changes everything. You are no longer an employee. You are the CEO of a startup called Your Life, Inc. And your current job is simply a high-paying client that is funding your research and development phase. This perspective shift breaks the dopamine loop. When you view the money as seed capital rather than a reward, the sedation wears off. You stop using the paycheck to buy comfort, and you start using it to buy leverage. Every dollar that hits your account should be funneled directly into assets, skills, or side ventures. Your exit ramp is measurable. It is built on skills, savings, and systems. You are stealing fire from the system itself, using their resources, their training, and their capital to build the very thing that will eventually make them irrelevant to you. You are not working a job. You are undercover. You are biding your time, gathering resources, and sharpening your blade. Once you adopt this mindset, you stop waiting for freedom and start building it. The paycheck is no longer a bribe to stay. It is the fuel for your departure. You know you are leaving. It is just a matter of time. Here's your challenge. In a few weeks, that notification will hit your phone again. The bank balance will rise, and that familiar wave of relief will try to hook you. But this time, deny it. Look at that number and understand. It is not a reward. It is the monthly price they've placed on your freedom. When that money lands, don't celebrate. Don't upgrade your lifestyle. Take a percentage, however small, and put it toward your exit. You are not trapped. You are participating. And participation is a choice. The system is not holding you down. It is holding you in place. The moment you stop feeding the cycle, the moment you stop trading comfort for captivity, the entire structure around you begins to crack. If this hit you, then you already know what comes next. Tap like to mark the moment you stopped pretending. Share this with the one person who is built for more. Subscribe to join the ones who refuse to stay tame.